Hello everyone, my name is Jasmine Kaur. Currently, I'm a student of Capilano University, and today I'm here to share my views on podcast by Francis Fukuyama, The End of History. In the podcast, Fukuyama reflected on the history and modernization, collective action plan problems linked to the global warming, and the emergence of new ideologies challenging liberal democracy. In the podcast, on the end of history, Francis Fukuyama argues that liberal democracy is the highest point of political and social progress. He submits that following the fall of communism, liberal democracy became the dominant ideology, marking the end of human ideological development. He emphasizes the significance of individual autonomy in determining the outcome and rejects the determinative interpretation of history. Fukuyama, despite being accused of being a type of Marxist, distinguishes his perspective by rejecting the notion of immutable iron law of history and emphasizing the significance of individual and political decisions. The final state of history, as envisioned by Fukuyama, is a place where ideological conflict have been resolved and liberal democracy remains the dominant and lasting system of government on a global scale. Fukuyama's thesis invites a more in-depth examination of contemporary issues. While the fundamental of liberal democracy remains, the podcast draw attentions to the challenges posed by global warming and the international institution that may not be up to the task. The the speaker further emphasizes the unpredictability of technology, which raises the question of the longevity of Fukuyama thesis in the light of current complexity. When Francis Fukuyama look, looks back at the theory of the end of history, he argues that modernization is a continuous process that brings us all together in a market economy and democracy. But there are some big challenges to idea and like radical Islam refusal to accept modernity, how people bring together in a global democracy, poverty and modernization, and how technology is changing the way we live. Along with this, uh, I, identity politics emerges as a potent force challenging the liberal democracy. The complex interplay of communal identities and individual rights poses significant challenges with with the potential to undermine the liberal basis of societies. Additionally, the podcast recognizes the need to address the rise of nationalist and populist ideologies in response to globalization, reflecting a shift from the one dominant liberal democratic narrative. The anti-immigrant backlash and the call of for a strong national identity uh, uh, reflects um, reflects a growing dissatisfaction with the liberal democratic model, which some views as inadequate to address the grievance of certain groups. The ideologies that are attempting to challenge liberal democracy are often rooted in dissatisfaction with the current situation. These ideologies are often motivated by a desire to protect cultural values, reduce economic inequalities, or create a more assertive nation state identity. These ideologies can gain traction by providing alternative narrative that appeal to those who feel excluded from practices of liberal democracy. It is essential for liberal democracy to address those concerns without disregarding its fundamental values of individual autonomy, equality, and safeguarding of various identities. Thank you.